boy.
There is wood. Oh, look at that one. That is nasty. Ow. This is probably the cheapest 6-liter you'll ever find. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. This is the new motor for Matilda. You're here, so you've seen the thumbnail. This 6-liter was in a pretty bad wreck. So this truck picked a fight with a bunch of trees, and you can clearly see that it lost. But this is like a 180,000 mile 6.0, so we're gonna see if the block's broken at all. Still got coolant in it. The block doesn't look like it has any damage. One of the air conditioning bosses is all cracked out. The block doesn't look like it has any damage. The cracks don't go into the block anywhere, and both motor mounts don't appear to have any cracking around them. The cylinder walls look in great shape. A couple of them have a little bit of crusty going on. The cylinder heads, though, they're not looking so hot. So this is what it looked like when we pulled the heads off. All right, pull her off, Dad. Oh, look at all that crap that just fell out of there. Keep going.
Oh boy.
There is wood. Oh, look at that one. That is nasty. Hold on, let's see the bottom of the head. Doesn't look damaged. Yep, this one's definitely hung up by a piece of plastic.
It's right there.
Yep.
Bunch of plastic. Oh, that one's wide open. You can see all the stuff behind it. On the back side of the heads, you can see some of the wood and stuff that got sucked down in here. Valves that are held open. This one's held open by a piece of intake. This one, that little chunk of metal right there, that's one of the clips that holds the injectors on the fuel rail. So I would not be surprised if every other valve is bent in these. So those heads are probably just gonna go on the shelf, along with what's left of the intake from this poor motor. So I could just slap another set of heads on it, put a new intake on it, throw it in the truck and go rip, but I also came across one of these that's got a jiggly thing back there. So of course, it's gotta have a cam. Trying to pull the lifters off, and we got something mildly concerning. So I'm pulling a lifter, it should just come out, just like that. That one out of the way. Every other one has a hard spot that it runs into. They twist and make it hard. So I'm gonna pull a cam and see if we can just knock them out the bottom, because I don't want to mess up any of those bores. Also, this thing has a 3-bolt cam in it. Thought these things only came with 1 bolt, and that chain's a little sloppy. You know what else is a little sloppy? Only 10% of you watching are subscribed. And if you're here, I know you like horsepower just as much as I do, so hit that subscribe, because the horsepower only goes up from here. All right, let's see if one of these will go out the bottom. Well, that one just fell out. I don't like that, so we're just gonna knock them out the bottom. So after looking at some of these lifters a little bit closer, they've developed a little bit of a burr right on the end. But other than that, everything on these lifters looks good. The real question is, will the dipstick come out? Believe it or not, that is one of the most difficult things to get out on these LS motors. So with these, that O-ring is down in the throat. Water will come in and get on top of that O-ring and then start to rust and basically glue these things in there. They're really difficult to get out without pulling the pan. Since this thing sat for a little while, there are a few cylinders like this one that have a little bit of crustiness on them. Now they're super smooth and there's just the tiniest little raised section right there. So I don't think we're gonna have to bore it. And if we go to some of these other cylinders, like this one is still a mirror. Same thing with the one next to it. Which ones are these? This is 4 and 6. 4 and 6 here are both in real good shape. 8 just has a little bit of discoloration going on in it, but it's pretty good. And now over on the odd side, 1 and 5. Yeah, 1 and 5 are looking real good. 7 looks real nice. But 3 also has just a little bit of discoloration going on.
After fully disassembling the block, I drug it outside, pressure washed it, and ran a brush through every cavity. The Flex Hone did a beautiful job on the cylinder walls. There is still a little discoloration in a few cylinders, but you can't feel it, so I think this thing's ready to rock and roll. Coming over to the crank, all the bearing surfaces look fine. The cam looks in great shape, but we're not going to be reusing that guy. All the main bearings are in plenty good of shape to reuse. The cam bearings are toast. New set of bearings for the cam, for sure. Last up here are all the pistons. Number one concern is, do we have any bent rods? Worst case scenario was number 3. By my eyeball, it looks pretty straight and a straight edge with how much you can tell on this casting. It seems perfectly straight to me. I took a quick glance over all 8 pistons. None of them seem to have any cracks, and the wear marks on the edges of the skirts here, you can still see a little bit of black, so our pistons aren't worn out. And that is all just music to my ears. I'm still waiting on the new rumble stick to come in, so you guys have to keep an eye out for part 2 when we start putting this beast back together. Till then, y'all know what to do. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, advice, leave them down in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.